He fed the owl a vitamin mix and started giving it to more and more. But one by one, they started falling over until 42 of them dropped dead. Now, the man was confused until he read the label on the vitamins. You see, earlier he had taken a photo of an empty package and sent it to another company to copy the formula, since it would be cheaper than buying it retail. But he didn't realize the label had a typo, listing grams instead of milligrams. So when the company followed the recipe, the new vitamin powder was 1,000 times stronger than the original, which ended up killing the owls. As the replica was built, they saved cost by deleting tiny sections of its length, making the ship shorter. To film it, they dug a pool with a 40-foot well in the middle, and when the ship had to sink, they pulled one section down with cables while hidden floats stopped it from crashing. Another section was attached to a giant motor, which rotated the whole thing to 90 degrees, forcing extras to fall into the water. And interior scenes were carefully flooded with pumps to shoot one of the most expensive movies ever made. As the he waves down a driver, pointing at their wheel, shouting that it's about to fall off. And once they pull over, he gets in and drives it a few feet while jerking the wheel, making it look like it's wobbling. He tells them to get back in the car and turn the wheel so he can fix it. Then, suddenly, the wobble is gone. He demands payment, and you pay as he moves on to the next car. He waves down The foxes moved straight toward the penguins before killing dozens of them, and they did this every year until there were only 4 penguins left. Now, a local farmer had sheepdogs that guarded his chickens, so he decided to send one over to the penguins to help. And that year, the foxes were too afraid to attack, meaning not a single penguin was killed. Since then, other dogs have been trained, and every year they protect the colony, which has grown back to nearly 200 penguins. Lay your shirt flat and imagine a line across the middle. Then imagine another line down from the shoulder to the bottom edge. Now pinch where the 2 lines cross with one hand and grip the shoulder with the other. Without letting go, cross the same hand over and grab the bottom edge on the same line. Now uncross your arms and the shirt folds over itself in the air. Lay the loose sleeve down first and set the shirt over the sleeve so it forms a neat rectangle in 2 seconds. They would inject cement through a small cut above your skull and shape it from the outside to make it rounder. Then your scalp would be sewn back together, and when it healed, the top of your head would be taller than before, which could make your face look smaller, so you look younger and a lot more attractive. But a lot of these clinics are done in beauty salons with untrained operators, meaning you could lose hair or even end up with a severe infection. They pulled the fruit from the traveler's bag and set it on fire until it was burned. You see, a fly had laid eggs in the fruit, which hatched into maggots and ate it from the inside. And since it was brought into another country, if it had gotten through, those maggots could have crawled out and settled into the soil before emerging as flies. Then they could spread to nearby farms, laying more eggs that rot the crops, ruining food supplies across the country, which is why they're burned right here. They press both of your pinkies together before crossing both of your ring fingers down over them and placing your middle fingers on top to shape the snake's head. Then curve your index fingers forward so they form the front of the face, and position your thumbs underneath so press both of your pinkies together before crossing both of your ring fingers down over them and placing your middle fingers on top to shape the snake's head. Then curve your index fingers forward so they form the front of the face, and position your thumbs underneath so it looks like the lower jaw. Now squeeze everything together to create one wide triangular shape. Then give it a quick forward snap so the jaws open and strike. Press both, squirt the white glue on the leaf, then add black paper for eyes and a mouth. Leave it to dry until the glue turns clear. Next, peel it off in one piece, and when you press it onto a window, it'll cling to the glass on its own. Squirt the white. They tacked the stuffing onto the column, connecting each clump to a hidden wire. After that, they built a 1/12 scale house and attached the walls to a sandbag. Then they built a tiny palm tree, tying the top to a wire. They repeated this until they had a mini LA street. Then the clumps on the column were lifted up with wires. And when they blasted the houses with air cannons, the sandbags yanked the walls back as the wires bent the trees, creating the illusion of a nuke destroying Los Angeles. When you cut off the root of an onion, it releases chemicals that hit your eyes and turn into acid, which makes you cry as you chop. Instead, leave the root and cut off the top. Slice the onion in half vertically, then flip each half so the flat side is down before peeling off the skin. Next, make vertical cuts toward the root on each half without cutting through it, and make horizontal cuts the same way. Finally, slice across to release the diced pieces.